that reappoints Mark Kretschmar over here. His term is up, and they have a meeting on Wednesday that he has to vote on the subdivision. So I'd like to make a resolution that we reappoint him to the planning board.
Do I have a second?
Okay.
Okay, discussion?
He's a city planner, or his expertise is in planning, he has a master's degree in it. He's very essential to the board operating smoothly, they have a good track record for the last year or so I would support that.
Any other discussion? Okay, my turn? I don't like how the motion came to the table. I prefer it not to happen that way, but I just learned today the credentials here and what is involved, and I will support it. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. It was brought forth, it was distributed to the members of the board from Nancy Claiborne, who's on the planning board, through our official town of Palatine mailing address. I'm sure Betty got a copy of the request last week too. So it's not that we're leaving you out, it's that it just went through this is the process. That's again why I want to have our official email so we can pass this stuff on.
Understand. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Okay.
I have another resolution number, it would be 34, to reaffirm our communications policy. We've had this in place for 2 years. It's what we discussed earlier today about having it, and it has worked out very well as a number of residents have been able to access emails and email communication. We kept a paper trail. And I would just like, from this board, I'd like reaffirmation of this policy.
You lost me. Which one are you on here, Chris?
Number 34, the communications policy, the one that we currently have in effect. You should have a copy. Do you have a copy of it?
Communications policy.
Yes, there you go.
This is my first reading. That's why I don't like it. And that's why in the future, I will insist on the resolutions be put in the packet and have the 2 weeks or whatever pattern there is there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Do I have discussion? No second.
Can I have a say?
We don't have a second at the moment,
Oh, okay.
so I don't know what there is to say
Well,
if we don't have.
I just wanna make a note that this communication policy's fine, but I'm never included on it. I don't see any of these emails. So if I get a FOIL request, I do not have anything to give them because I do not get any of the emails that is tossed amongst everybody that is supposed to be, everybody's supposed to have access to.
Thank you.
Move the table for a rewrite.
Okay, we have a motion to rewrite. Do we have a second to that motion? Oh, wait a minute, I'm wrong. Number one, we have to have a second to the main motion before we can amend the motion. Do I hear a second to the main motion? The motion just died. Okay, next one.
Next one would be the one for meeting minutes. This is from the Association of Towns. It's the, I'll call it resolution number 35. It's in our Association of Towns manual. All it says is that we're going to take the meeting minutes. The board can review the meeting minutes, make any corrections or additions or so forth to the minutes, and then we adopt the minutes as amended.
Read on, it doesn't have to be adopted. Minutes don't have to be adopted. Read on.
I understand, I'm establishing a policy where we officially adopt the minutes after making changes. So,
That's your resolution,
that's my
right?
resolution.
Okay,
Second.
is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion.
I think it would be professional and good of us to have official minutes that do get reviewed, because anybody can misinterpret something, anybody can emphasize things that aren't really important, or de-emphasize, and that's anyone. If I were taking the minutes, it would be the same thing. And this makes it better because we can then have a documented written record of what happened.
We had this policy until the beginning of 2017 where we did adopt the minutes and then we stopped adopting them. And I just think it's good policy and practice according to the Association of Towns to use. So they actually issued a memorandum on the minutes. And although Linda is correct that some towns choose not to do it, I would just like us to do it so we have an official record.
Okay. This is the discussion period, right? And I've got a little discussion. I said at the beginning of this meeting, respect is important to me. Bringing a motion like that to the table that changes how the board meeting operates is not respectful. For that reason alone, I oppose it. It's good. Let it come back again, and we'll discuss it. But you gotta have some respect for her, you know? The people in the town of Palatine elected her unopposed this time.
Phil, this
She
is not-
must
this is
do a
not
pretty
respect
good
issue.
job.
This is just a clarification of the Association of Towns. I don't see it as a respect issue at all. I see it as us just,
Okay, then
Following
I'll
best
ask for a
practice.
second. We got a second? You seconded it, right?
Yeah.
Now let's vote on it. I vote no. Who's yea? Who wants it? Who's opposed? I guess it doesn't carry.
okay, next one. Number 36. It's to establish, this is another one from the Association of Towns. Want to establish the hours of operation, which we currently have. It just allows us to just to implement them, and that to give notice of a regular closing and put it in the paper. So if the office goes on vacation, it's listed in the paper so people don't come down here wanting to have services. So it doesn't change anything we do except put in the resolution that we establish our hours and notice of a closing.
We already do that.
I understand, but again, the Association of Towns says it's one of the things we're supposed to do at our organizational meeting. I'm not doing anything different, it's just, last month when the Association of Towns sent out stuff, this is one of the things they said we should be doing every year, and I'm just covering the Ts and crossing the Ts and dotting the Is. That's all I'm doing.
All those in favor say aye.
I didn't get a second.
Oh, there was no
You seconded
second.
it?
I second it.
I didn't hear you second it.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah. I guess maybe I was right once. Wow. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. No. Okay, we disagree
You
again.
abstained?
I have the last one, which would be 37, which is keeping our website, townpalatine.org.
That was number 10.
Oh, that was number 10?
Yeah.
That was already failed. That one
But
already failed.
actually, it was Bill's 10 that he put in for
All
resolution,
right,
so
okay, then that's, all right, so this has got to change then, 37.
37. It needs a second and it can be voted on.
Okay, who's got a second?
Hold it, I thought this whole thing was dealt with earlier.
It was
It was a
Bill,
different resolution.
Bill put a resolution up.
And that
That one was voted down. So now I'm
This one says what?
that we just make townofpalatine.org the official website. That's all it
Okay,
is.
I'll second
It's-
that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. No. All right, public comment time. Most organizational meetings, that I've been near haven't allowed public comment time on an organizational meeting. There really isn't an awful lot to comment on. And if you wanna get into maybe what we should be doing here in the future with regard to the finances, go to it. Let me get my gizmo. Okay,
Deb Carey, Town of Palatine, and I just want to say welcome. The initial financial stuff that you went through pleased me to no end, and I'm excited to see what happens. Welcome aboard.
well, thank you. I will be lax in other areas because I spent a lot of time on that. To me, it's very important.
Certainly
That gets straightened out, and then that is the key to answering the state's audit.
Right.
Thank you. Yes? No, right, we had a reporter right next to you, Margaret.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did I see your hand go up or down?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was my blue one.
All right, anybody else? Yes?
Paul Fender, I brought this up in other meetings in the past. I watched the number, I forget the number we're up to now. I had asked you for a recall on that one. The whole thing went by, and the extensions, I'm not sure whether a lot of these motions were abstained or negative. But I cannot hear the one person vote
Okay.
or see her activity of vote.
Which one?
All of them.
When will your written copy be available? The minutes?
Depending on the taxes, it might be done this week. But during tax season, I've asked for leniency because of taking taxes.
I understand.
They're supposed to be done in 2 weeks, but during tax season, sometimes it's hard.
Well, okay.
But this is something simple, I can just copy over what I have.
My point is, why can't we be a little bit more clear? with a
I
vote?
can.
With a raised hand, higher than, I can't see, but I can hear, I've got my aids on, but I cannot hear.
That's why I stood up and tried to project my
I know,
voice.
but you did not give me the recount on every vote.
No, no.
Okay, so then
I'm-
why stand up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll try to improve our performance.
Well, it used to be very good.
Okay.
I'm not using past experiences, but we have one member that has a very soft voice. They should speak up or raise their hand high.
Okay.
Simple. Because you passed a whole number of resolutions, you sit there, you can't hear.
Well, I would prefer that everybody can hear too,
Okay.
rather than wait,
Good.
you know, for the minutes.
Establish that fact.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
John McClone, the town of Palatine, thank you, and I'll keep it to a couple of minutes. Before the official start of the meeting, you gave a very eloquent and hopeful speech about respect. I'm going to give you some latitude as to how you define respect, especially in treating members of the council.
Mhm.
So, you know, given that this is your first
A
meeting.
lot of contention here. yeah.
And I don't know that that's within your framework of respect, it may be, but I'm hoping for 2018 that gets refined. Second thing is, from what I gathered, you're talking about unwinding a synthetic derivative with Mellon Bank with a QSIP number. That's the Committee on Uniform Securities and Business Practices, as I'm sure you're aware. You're probably also aware that Mellon Bank merged with Bank of New York, so I don't know.
Money
technically what
Center
you're doing.
Bank
Yeah.
And the particular CUSIPs that refer to what the town of Palatine has are no longer traded.
Yes, I wouldn't expect them to be,
Yeah.
so that was my, actually, sub point, you mentioned interviewing accounting firms. If you're talking about synthetic financial derivatives, unwinding positions going up to 2034, I know your accreditations. I happen to have worked for the vice chairman and the chairman of Mellon Bank at various times, so I am fairly familiar with that industry space. Just curious about how the qualifications of that will go forward, unwinding such a long horizon derivative. Minor points. The other thing that I would say is that unclear about where we landed on the website. And yes, as you're aware, I brought forward an Article 78 over town records. The thing that I would ask to be considered is the impact of email versus a website. As I understood your position, you're trying to conflate an official town website with a semi-private, because the Town of Cherry Palatine organization is neither a incorporation nor not-for-profit registered nor an LLC.
Yes.
It is a loose amalgam
It's interesting.
of people. So as I heard the direction you're going, you seem to be conflating public entity service with private and unofficial entity service in terms of tourism and things like that. I'll let you mature your thought process on that, and this is my time to speak, not a dialectic. So that would be the other point I would bring on that, the emails and the dissolution of, and I'm not sure where that landed on the website, and then the conflation of these mixed entities, whatever your experiences are there, that's fine. Aside from that, certainly appreciate what you're doing on the financial side, looking forward to that, and I look forward to your next meeting as you evolve into this process.
Anybody else? Yes.
I don't know if I heard it right, but concerning the Mellon Bank, you were looking for authority to be able to have access to the
They
account?
gave me that authority.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
But I think that when it was written down, that it said that you should keep it there, and the word keep was used instead of giving you just access to the account. You don't want to keep, you're going to go in and take it all
I
out.
want access, and the board has given me
But I don't
access.
think they used the word access. I think there's a bad word in there, I don't know what.
Well,
Extra
no,
word.
the resolution has to be as per the previous resolution.
Oh.
That's why we did that.
Okay, got
It-
that.
It's funny, the resolution doesn't necessarily mean what it says.
I
It's how it
understand.
goes by the banking officials so that you get access.
And just to clarify something, the town historian has been paid in the past, and when Skip and I were appointed to that position, neither one of us wanted to get paid. However, we didn't know we weren't gonna get paid, and I gave a written report and also a verbal report on the cemetery that's near McDonald's. The money that we got, we used to do that project. It wasn't, and it's not up to us to take it out of our own pocket, so before we would do something like that again, we would come to the board and ask if they would like to contribute money toward that. So part of it was our fault, part of it, I believe, was the board's fault.
Please come to the board, please.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, motion to adjourn? All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.